Hello everyone! In today's character analysis, I will be taking an in-depth look at Akito Hayama, one of the main protagonists of Kodocha. Akito is a very interesting character that comes across as mysterious and even scary at the beginning of the series. Unlike Sana, who is very vocal about her feelings, Akito keeps his emotions mostly to himself and expresses them through subtle actions and comments. Today I am going to focus on Akito at the beginning of the series, as well as his early life, and explore the reasons why he became a terrifying threat to the teachers and his peers at school. I want to take a closer look at how Akito became a bully, and how his past affected his sense of self and future actions. There is a lot to explore with the character of Akito, even though he doesn't reveal much of what's going on inside of him during the series. With this character, you have to read in between the lines and figure out what he is truly thinking through his actions and interactions with others. Now let's take an in-depth look at Akito Hayama, and keep in mind there will be spoilers ahead. In the first episode and chapter of the series, we are introduced to Akito Hayama, the primary antagonist and ringleader of the rowdy boys in Sana's class. Akito comes across as menacing as well as threatening, as it is revealed that he has something he is using against the teachers to get them to do whatever he says. In the first arc of the series, or at least during the beginning of this arc, it's difficult to feel sympathy towards Akito, as he has done very questionable things. Not only is he using the photo of the teachers against them, he has also gotten the other boys to try and drown one of Sana's classmates named Mamie, and even choked Sana after she confronted him about it. When I first watched this series, I was shocked by how aggressive Akito acted towards Sana and her peers. The anime came across as cutesy and lighthearted, and the moment when Akito grabbed Sana by the throat, I was definitely unsure of where the story would go from then on. Based on Akito's first impression, it's really hard to tell what's going on with him. Does he genuinely enjoy tormenting others, or is there a deeper meaning behind Akito's destructive behavior? After only a few episodes and chapters in, we are led to believe the worst-case scenario, that Akito Hayama is truly a devil boy and a monster. However, there is one moment in the first chapter/episode that goes against the idea that Akito is truly evil. When the boys gang up on Sana after she has talked about them on TV the night before, Akito intervenes and tells the boys to leave her alone. It's unclear as to why Akito put a stop to this, as he was the main target in Sana's TV rant, but this gives the audience a hint that Akito is not as terrible as he seems. It could also be interpreted that he wanted to go after her himself, or maybe he was in some ways afraid of what would happen to him if she was beaten up on his behalf. Regardless, this is the first time we see different behavior from Akito, and makes the audience question his true character and motivations. After all of Sana's attempts to get back at Akito have failed, she gets the idea from her mother and Rei to fight fire with fire. So she decides to get an embarrassing photo of Akito to use against him. Akito's best friend Tsuyoshi joins Sana in her effort to get Akito to stop what he's doing in class. His friendship with Tsuyoshi is also an indication that Akito's behavior is not right, and that Tsuyoshi has seen a side of him that the audience has yet to see. After all, Tsuyoshi had been friends with Akito way before 6th grade, and he seems very sympathetic towards him despite how cruel he had been to his teachers and classmates. As Sana and Tsuyoshi wait for Akito outside of his house one evening, they hear yelling from inside. Akito walks out and they hear his sister screaming at him, calling him a brat and telling him that she doesn't care if he ever comes back. We also see his father coming home from work, and as he passes Akito, he says nothing to him and proceeds inside the house. It's at this moment when we understand that there is more to Akito than just being a bully for the fun of it. His motivations are still unclear, but it's obvious that he is struggling mentally and emotionally, and suffering from neglect and abuse from his family members. From here, we can already break down Akito's early behavior, and try and make sense of why he became a bully in the first place. It's a puzzle that is easier to put together the longer the series goes on and the more we find out about Akito's home life and past. Tsuyoshi reveals to Sana a few episodes later that Akito's sister Natsumi calls him a monster because his mother died giving birth to him. In his sister's eyes, Akito killed their mother. It's why Akito went after Mamie, When she called him a monster, it really hit him hard, and reminded him of the torment he endures at home from his sister. Akito had no control over his situation at home, so he most likely had a desire to control his situation elsewhere, and he found that he could easily do that at school. According to Psychology Today, one possible reason for a person's desire for control is their desire to increase their own self-determination and autonomy. In psychological terms, autonomy is control of one's own life. Another reason individuals might seek power and control is wanting to control the actions or behaviors of others, and influence outcomes of situations based on the responses by others who they have manipulated. The best example of this is Akito's relationship with the other boys in the class. He is essentially the leader and has the most influence on what they do. It was easy for Akito to make them stop attacking Sana after she had ranted about them on TV. The boys also praise Akito for being a bully, which only enabled his cruel behavior. Without much appreciation at home, the praise from the boys in his class was really the only positive relationship Akito had at this point. Yes, he had his friendship with Tsuyoshi, but I think for Akito maybe this wasn't enough and he needed more, and found at an early age that if he acted tough and aggressive, he would be liked by his peers. The best example of this is how the boys encouraged Akito to kiss a girl in their kindergarten class on a bet. And when he gave Fuka her first kiss, the other boys thought Akito was so cool and tough for doing so. As I said before, I think this early experience gave Akito an understanding of what to do in order for others to perceive him in a certain way. Akito wanted to be perceived as tough, and he also wanted to be liked by others since he was not liked by his family at home. One of the most important scenes involving Akito is when he is confronted by Sana after he becomes the lone wolf in class, after Sana gets the embarrassing photo of him to stop him from harassing everyone. It's at this moment when things take an unexpected dark turn as Akito pulls out a knife and asks Sana to kill him. Akito goes on to tell her that he wants to die. Out of frustration, Sana stabs the knife into the tree behind him and runs off. Why does Akito want to die? Does he suffer from low self-esteem or self-hatred? I think this is part of it, but not the biggest factor in Akito's desire to die. From a very young age, he was always tormented by his older sister about their mother's death. Because of this, Akito grew up truly believing that he was a monster. This knowledge gave birth to a strong sense of shame within Akito. Another article by Psychology Today states that bullying is more closely linked to shame than low self-esteem. Akito was told he was a monster, believed he was a monster, and then acted like a monster because that is all he ever knew about himself. Akito had to live with this ever since he was born, and the feelings of shame led to his self-hatred. He felt that the world would be a better place if he was gone. According to that same article on Psychology Today, kids who experience shame often wish to give it away to others by evoking those same feelings of shame inside of them. That is why Akito became a bully. It was a combination of two negative emotions, shame and a desire for power and control. The desire for power and his inner shame led to his cruel behavior in school, because it was a safer environment for him to get what he wanted. No one at school was abusing or neglecting him, and if someone did pick on him, it was easy for him to expose their weaknesses to get them to stop and do what he wanted. His strong feelings of shame made it easier for him to shame others, and this ultimately made him transform into a bully. At school and at the beginning of the series, Akito is a terrifying threat to Sana and everyone at school. He comes across as the worst boy ever with no respect for anyone except himself. However, this is not the case when you look more closely at Akito's home life and self-perception. At the conclusion of the first major story arc, Sana is taking Akito home as he is not feeling well, until they run into Akito's father, and as his father is carrying Akito away on his shoulder, Sana states how Akito looks so small and how he never looked that way before. This is a powerful statement, a very subtle one, but powerful. It conveys the biggest message of this arc in Akito's character overall. Even people who do bad things are still human. They still have feelings. And even if the behaviors are negative, they can be replaced with positive ones, given the right tools in life. Thanks to Sana's intervention, Akito and his family had a better understanding of what needed to change. Not just Akito's behavior, but for his father and sister as well. His father realizes that he had been neglecting his children, and his sister realized how terrible her behavior was towards Akito because of the pain of losing her mother. While I do think that Akito's behavior was frightening and unacceptable at the beginning of the series, I still have a lot of sympathy for his character, as I feel he really grew and changed after that. It's subtle, but Akito goes through a lot of self-reflection throughout the series after this.
Listen, this is just between you and me, but when I think about the way I was before, I get a little embarrassed too.
Huh? You do, really? Oh yeah, I guess so. You have a lot more to be embarrassed about than I do. You're the stupid boss monkey!
But even so, you didn't write me off. You went out of your way because you wanted to help me.
Well, yeah, sure.
Because that's what people do, right? They work through their problems.
One other thing I would like to mention that is brought up in the manga is how Akito acted around Natsumi when they were young. Natsumi was actually extremely cruel towards Akito when they were very young, and she would go as far as physically abusing him in some cases. There's a part in this section of the manga where Obana writes, "As long as he didn't complain about Natsumi picking on him, nothing really bad would happen." This could explain why Akito tends to keep his feelings to himself, as a result of his traumatic childhood. He was conditioned to want to keep his feelings inside, because if he expressed anything outwardly, there would be a chance bad things would happen to him. Akito is one of my favorite characters from Kodocha, as it is enjoyable to try and read his behavior during the chapters/episodes, since he is rarely vocal about his thoughts and feelings. Understanding how Akito is, as well as other characters in the story, is part of the charm of Kodocha. I hope you all enjoyed the video today, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Kodocha content in the future. And let me know your thoughts about Akito down below. Thanks for watching. See ya!